And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza. And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza, the intersection of business and politics, right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest, unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you're going to make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide. I also broadcast on Roar 1776 Radio and on 365 Live Radio every Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. That's 5 to 7 p.m. I take it back. That's 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of all my radio and television shows. You can also access my show live right from my website each day simply by clicking on the icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com, and you can call into my show if you just want to comment or engage me in conversation about anything. You can do that by calling directly into the studio at 646-652-2464. Again, that number is 646-652-2464. Now, on today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. Today, my expert contributor is John Hanson, that little old wine drinker. He's going to be talking about food and wine. My special guest is John Kurth, that wizard of words, and he's going to be talking about the syntax of success. But right now, I want you to know that at 4:02 p.m. Pacific Time, it is currently 103 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. I want you to know that's down from 105 degrees on its way to 70 degrees. We've got a long way to go. Right now, it is hot outside, so I'm going to just stay inside and keep it that way. Now, right off the presses, just came in, gay couples apply for marriage licenses in Guam, the first U.S. territory to allow same-sex marriage. Well, Obama said it. U.S. lacks complete strategy for training the Iraqis. Acknowledging military setbacks, President Barack Obama said today the United States still lacks a complete strategy for training Iraqi forces to fight the Islamic State. He urged Iraq's government to allow more of the nation's Sunnis to join the campaign against the violent militants. Nearly 1 year after American troops started returning to Iraq to assist local forces, Obama said the Islamic State remains nimble, aggressive, and opportunistic. He touted significant progress in areas where the U.S. has trained Iraqis to fight, but said forces without U.S. assistance are often ill-equipped and suffer from poor morale. IS fighters captured the key Anbar provincial capital of Rumandi last month, prompting Defense Secretary Ash Carter to lament that Iraqi troops lack the will to fight. That was a strikingly negative assessment of a military that has been the beneficiary of billions in U.S. assistance, dating back to the war when the war started during the administration of U.S. President George W. Bush in 2003. Still, Obama indicated that simply increasing the number of Americans in Iraq would not resolve the country's issues. The U.S. currently has about 3,000 troops there for train and assist missions. Yeah, well, and I got a bridge to sell you someplace, right? I just don't get it. Just don't get it at all. Well, you know what? Obama's still in the news. He's talking right now. Courts shouldn't have considered the health law change. With a crucial legal decision looming, President Barack Obama said today the Supreme Court should not even have considered the latest challenge to his signature health care law, but he voiced confidence the justices would play it straight and leave the law intact. Obama weighed in on the merits of the case against the 5-year-old Affordable Care Act as a high court prepares to announce a decision sometime later this month that could wipe out health insurance for millions of people. Wrapping up a 2-day international summit today, Obama told reporters there was no reason for the health program to end up in court, maintaining that the thing is working. Frankly, it probably shouldn't even have been taken up, he said. You know, how much of that remains to be just politics? Well, here's one for you. Did the inmates have inside help in a daring prison break? Right out of Dannemora, New York, investigators questioned prison workers and outside contractors today to try to find out who may have helped two killers obtain the power tools they needed to break out of a maximum security institution in an audacious Shawshank Redemption-style escape. The manhunt stretched into a third day, with law enforcers questioning drivers and searching trunks at checkpoints near the Clinton Correctional Facility in far northern New York, even though authorities said David Sweet and Richard Matt could be anywhere, perhaps Canada or Mexico. Well, you need to know, Canada was only 45 miles from the prison. It's been 3 days. They could have pretty easily walked it in that time and crossed that border. You know, with authorities warning that the men were desperate and dangerous, some residents were nervous over the escape from the 3,000-inmate prison in the middle of the small town of Dannemora, close to the Canadian border, but others figured the killers were long gone. We always joke about it. We're so close to the prison, that's the last place that anyone who escaped would want to be, Jessica Lashway said as she waited for the bus with her school-aged children a few doors down from the hulking fortress-like prison. Sweet, 34, and Matt, 48, sliced through a steel wall, crawled down a catwalk, broke through a brick wall, cut their way in and out of a steam pipe, and emerged through a manhole to make their escape, which was discovered early Saturday, authorities said. They had stuffed their beds with clothes to fool guards making their rounds and left behind a taunting sticky note that read, "Have a nice day." Well, let's rub their noses in it. Let's find out what the heck went wrong. Let's find out who helped them. They had to have help. Well, Supreme Court strikes down born in Jerusalem passport law. Siding with the White House in a foreign policy power struggle with Congress, the Supreme Court ruled today that Americans born in the disputed city of Jerusalem cannot list Israel as their birthplace on passports. In a 6-3 ruling, the court said Congress overstepped its bounds when it approved the passport law in 2002. The case mixed a dispute between Congress and the president with the thorny politics of the volatile Middle East. The ruling ended a 12-year-old lawsuit by a Jerusalem-born American, Menachem Zivotrovsky, and his U.S. citizen parents. The law the court struck down Monday would have forced the State Department to alter its long-standing policy of not listing Israel as the birthplace for Jerusalem-born Americans. The policy is part of the government's refusal to recognize any nation's sovereignty over Jerusalem until Israelis and Palestinians resolve its status through negotiations. Now, do not go away. When we come back, I'm going to talk to you about a New York town stands by its prison after the brazen escape. I'll tell you all about this right after these brief messages. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group, no mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And when we left, we were talking about the news. We're going to get right back into it. And, you know, we've talked a little bit about that prison break in New York, Dannemora. Well, the New York town there stands by its prison after that brazen escape. The 40-foot-high wall of the maximum security prison, state prison, I should say, in Dannemora, runs right along the main street, a hulking symbol of the institution's dominance over practically every aspect of life. Nearly everyone in this mountain village of about 5,000 near the Canadian border works at the prison or is related to someone who actually does. A link that in some cases goes back generations. That's why the audacious prison break over the weekend by two convicts using power tools cuts deep into the collective pride. It's a black eye for the guys who work in the jail. We were proud that we had no escapes, says Jerry Varon, who stressed that the corrections officers or COs perform a difficult job under the conditions. I think my friends and my relatives do the very best job they can. Dannemora looks more like a prison with a village attached than a village with a prison. The 3,000-inmate Clinton Correctional Facility sits smack in the middle of everything. Some residents jokingly call it their town hall, leaving no doubt what the company is in this company town. What company is in this company town? I've been there here long enough that I don't even recognize the wall. To me, it's the economic engine. That's what it is, said Dave Colton behind the Center of D.C. Auto Parts just down the road from the prison where this father and grandfather once worked. Well, here's one for you. The Napalm Girl photographer returns with iPhone Instagram. Here we are. He stands in the northbound lane of Vietnam's Highway Number 1. Traffic swirling around him, horns honking. He's pointing right there, he says. That's where it happened. That's where the screaming children appeared. That's where I made the picture that world could not forget. Hung Kong Neek Oot was 21 on that day, more than half a lifetime ago, when he stood on the same road, pointed his camera northeast, and captured one of history's most famous images, a naked Vietnamese girl screaming and fleeing after South Vietnamese planes looking for Viet Cong insurgents attacked with napalm from the air. On Monday, or today I should say, 43 years later to the day, Oot went back to document some of his Vietnam War memories with a tool from an entirely different era, a 4-ounce iPhone 5 equipped with the ability to send photos to the world in the blink of a digital eye. I stood here and watched the bombs come down, Oot said, of those long-ago moments just before he exposed a frame of Kodak Tri-X black and white film that carried the likeness of 9-year-old Kim Phuc, her body severely burned. I was so young then, a long-time Associated Press photographer said. Oot's June 8, 1972 image of Kim Phuc, now known as the Napalm Girl, helped crystallize the debate America had been having for over more than a half a decade about a far-off war that was lethal to so many. But the image began its persuasive work on newspaper pages many hours later, not in the instantaneous fashion that we actually see today. And Erdogan's ambitions dashed after ruling party loses the majority. In normal times, you can't escape President Recep Tayyip Erdogan in Turkey. His voice booms from television screens, his hands wave at campaign rallies, and his face smiles from billboards. Yet, as Turkey digested the surprise sinking of support for his long-dominant party, Erdogan's only reaction came in a brief written statement today, appealing for unity and acknowledging the sudden need to make new political friends. Our people's will is above everything else, said Erdogan, conceding that the new political landscape does not allow any party the possibility to govern alone. For the first time since his Justice and Development Party roared into power in 2002, Erdogan may have lost control of his political fate. His party, reduced to 258 seats in a 550-member parliament, has lost its previous strong majority and faces weeks of talks to form a coalition with opposition forces who will want dearly to bring Erdogan back down to earth. You know, politics, as usual, all over the world. And a video of an officer who drew a gun on black teens raises tension. Of course it does. A black teenager in a swimsuit repeatedly cried out, "Call my mama," as a white police officer pinned her to the ground only moments after drawing his handgun on other black teens. "On your face," the officer yelled at the girl amid screaming from a crowd of onlookers. The officer's actions raised tensions today in this Dallas suburb where some community activists accused him of racism while others urged calm until the facts are actually investigated. Jahi Adisa Bakari, the father of young teenage girl at the party, said he would press for the officer to be fired, saying he was out of control. But Bennett Embry, a black local radio personality who witnessed the incident, said it was not another Ferguson or another Baltimore, referring to other police encounters that have left suspects dead and fueled a nationwide Black Lives Matter movement. This was a teenage party that got out of hand, Embry said. Police said the youth did not live in the area and did not have permission to be at the pool in McKinney, an affluent, predominantly white city. According to neighbors, Embry said, a woman who lives in the community reserved the pool for a party. The Homeowners Association limits the numbers of guests each homeowner may have at the pool to 2. But about 130 people, mostly kids, showed up for the woman's party, he said. At one point, several kids began jumping over the fence to get into the pool area and were causing a disturbance, Embry said, and a couple of fights actually broke out. While he did not agree with the officer's profanity or belligerence, Embry said police were right to respond. You know what? Sometimes they get it right, I guess. That's what you got to figure. Well, broader probes of campus sex assaults leave victims hanging. Olivia Ortiz was elated when the United States Department of Education contacted her in June of 2013 to tell her it was opening an investigation into her complaint that the University of Chicago had mishandled her sexual assault case. A junior at the time, she had run out of the options on campus after the dean decided against an investigation and instead recommended an informal mediation between her and a student she said had assaulted her in the spring of her freshman year. Finally, Ortiz said she felt someone was on her side. 2 years later, Ortiz is still waiting. The reason? A burgeoning backlog at the education department that advocates say is leaving victims to languish longer without resolution and could discourage others from coming forward at all. I definitely appreciate the Department of Education taking their time, said Ortiz, who has since left campus and moved back with her parents in Arizona, citing anxiety about continuing her studies in an environment where she felt unsafe. I guess that's an understatement. Well, don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to be talking about the IRS loses. In the first case, tax court reverses itself on filed when mailed. That's a rule for motions as well. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Don't go away. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The interview starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with the interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry and a Caring Personalized Environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what time it is? Yep, you got it right. It's time for the IRS Losers.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS Losers. And we could call it the Personal Winners Hotline today. The first case, a tax court reverses itself on filed when mailed rule for motions before the court. Let me tell you about it. A taxpayer's petition to go to tax court was rejected by the court for a technical reason. Within the 90 days allowed to appeal, the taxpayer mailed in a motion seeking reconsideration, but it was delivered to the court after the deadline. So here's the conflict. In an earlier case, the tax court held that the tax code's filed when mailed rule that applies to IRS filings did not apply to such court motions. A court of appeals reversed, but that bound the tax court only to that one appeal circuit. Now, the new ruling? The tax court will now accept the filed when mailed rule for such motions nationwide, and the taxpayer's case is going to be accepted and reviewed, and that's the way it should be. It just makes common sense, for Pete's sake. Can you rely on the post office for anything else? It's always been the postmark date that's always worked here. How about this? The IRS loses. Mixed motives behind a trust. Save it from the IRS. Let me tell you about it. Jacob Eversoft received a $700,000 tax bill from the IRS that he contested. At about the same time, he created a trust for his children to which he transferred his home and $200,000. The IRS said the trust was set up just to avoid the tax claim and so was invalid against it. Eversoft, who was age 68 at the time, said the trust was an estate planning device to keep his assets from his estranged wife and be sure that they went to his children. So he went to court to get some satisfaction here, I should say some justice, and this is what the court said. Both motives doubtless actually existed, but at the time, the estate planning motive predominated, as shown by the fact that Eversoft left more than $700,000 outside of the trust. So its assets are beyond the IRS's reach, no matter what they wanted to do. You got to love this stuff. This has got to send chills up and down your spine. It just gets me so excited. But of course, I'm an old guy, so that's what happens. How about this? The IRS concedes. You've heard me talk about it many, many times. The IRS only concedes when they're pretty sure they can't win in court. Let me tell you about it. Ignorance of rehabilitation tax credit excuses the late application for that credit. Let me tell you. A property owner rehabilitated a certified historic structure in a manner that qualified for the rehabilitation tax credit of up to 20% of rehabilitation costs, but failed to apply for the credit until after the deadline for doing so. Why? The owner hadn't known the credit even existed and applied for it only after learning about it. The IRS ruling? An extension of the deadline can be granted if the taxpayer acted reasonably and in good faith. Now, that was the case here, so the application for the credit is absolutely allowed. Well, you know what? If they'd have taken that one to court, folks, the IRS would have lost it. So they just did what was going to happen anyway. You've heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing things. That's where we're at right now when we talk about inside the IRS. Well, you know what? Let me tell you this. First off, did you know that the IRS can access your credit report and find out about financial transactions that you might not otherwise want to share with it? Suppose, for example, that your credit report reflects that you borrowed money to purchase an expensive car or boat, and suppose the IRS finds out. Its next step could easily be to contact your bank and obtain a copy of your credit application. If it does that, you've got a problem. If the credit application reflects assets or sources of income that you're trying to hide from the IRS, guess what? It just found them. And what if you overstated your assets on the credit application? While this is not a tax crime, it is a crime under federal law. So you either go to prison for evading taxes or you go to prison for a banking law violation. I don't think I'd want either one to happen. Let me give you one last one here before we move off to our commercial break. What happens to people who are sentenced to jail for a tax crime? You know, in most cases, they're designated, that's the Bureau of Prisons lingo, meaning where an individual is going to be sent to, but they're generally designated to a camp. Now, a camp is a federal prison facility, but there are no gun towers or barbed wire or jail cells. The other inmates in the camp are likely to be white-collar criminals and low-level drug dealers. It's a dormitory-style setting with a relatively small risk for physical assault. Of course, the experience is boring and the time drags on and you're still not free. And if you violate any of the rules there, you get to go what they refer to as the big house, and it's not near as nice there. That, I promise you. Now, don't go away. When we come back, we're going to be with our own Wizard of Words, John Kurth, and the Syntax of Success. We'll be right back after these brief messages. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group, no mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:33 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 103 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire. That's down from 107 in sunny Southern California. Well, he's waiting in the wings. Let's not make him waiting longer. Let's bring him in here, our own Wizard of Words. And now it's time for our Wizard of Words, John Kurth, president and founder of Syntactic Sales Scripting. He helps business owners, sales managers, and individual salespeople create winning sales scripts that win more customers. John has more than 12 years of combined international sales experience in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and the United States. Here now is our own John Kurth, the Wizard of Words, helping you obtain scripting success beyond your greatest expectations. Weekend out where you're at. You live out where you get that ocean breeze. You probably don't even use an air conditioner at your house.
Only for about 2 weeks in September, and that's it.
Well, how would you like to be here where it was 107 today?
Well, as long as there's good people, then you don't worry about the weather so much. So,
good people in air conditioning. Oh, you know what? It's
yes.
Interesting. I would say air conditioning. The very first time I ever went to Europe, and I rented a car, and I told them I wanted a car with air conditioning. Well, air conditioning in Europe means something different than it does here. If you wanted the air conditioning we have here, you need to ask for a vehicle with refrigeration, not air conditioning. Air conditioning is just air vents.
That's a good story.
Anyway, what do you have for us today, John?
I'm going to be talking about sales call themes, because there are themes that underlie every sales call. You know the themes, you can prep accordingly. Doesn't matter what you're selling. Again, we're looking at the much deeper level of the structure of a sales call. So why do you want to learn the sales themes? See, once you know the underlying themes, the core themes, you can plan it and script it accordingly. This comes in very handy if you have to you don't have a lot of time to prep for it, or you're selling a new product. This is what you want to focus on. Once you have the themes, then we can get even deeper with the content. So what are the 3 themes of sales calls? First is personal demeanor. Second is communication style. And third is message. So we'll go through each in turn. So how do you develop personal demeanor? What is personal demeanor? Personal demeanor is your presence. You must be true to yourself. We've all seen people try to sell something that didn't feel right to them, or they tried to sell a product or service like somebody else in the office, and it didn't work because the personal demeanor was incongruent. So you must be authentic to who you are. That's how you develop personal demeanor. It's that authenticity that's required. Also, it's the congruency with what you're saying and what you're doing. So that's how you develop personal demeanor. One other thing, the next is your communication style. So what is communication style? Is exactly that. And the thing is, with your communication style, you must be professional. Remember, this is a sales call. There's a person that I worked with that I saw who was giving a workshop, and he loves to use humor. Humor is more of who he is. However, at this presentation, he was going so much on the humorous side, like it almost sounded like he was trying to do stand-up, and he was starting to lose his audience. So if humor is part of your personal demeanor and humor is part of communication style, that's fine. And remember, you must be professional about it. There's a time and place for you can still be authentically yourself while being professional. Another important part of that communication style is passion. Now, passion can manifest itself in many different ways. In a sales call, passion is reflected in solid product knowledge of your product or service, being able to demonstrate it effectively. Passion comes through is that you enjoy what you do. You enjoy selling. You enjoy the process of meeting people. Passion also comes out to, in addition to the demonstration, is how effectively and how smoothly the process goes. So communication style is also unique to who you are. But remember, there must be a passion through it. Someone once said, passion on fire will outperform cold knowledge on ice. So that's where communication style comes in. You have to have the passion on top of it. Then we're looking at the message itself. That's the third sales call theme, is the message. So with the message, let's focus on that. We have to customize the message for your listener. We talked about in a previous section about the 3 dominant thinking styles, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. That has to be a core part of your message, because if you're skipping 1 or skipping 2, you're alienating the rest of your audience, because people don't sell like you do. People don't buy like you do. That's one of the big mistakes I often see people make. It's also a mistake in marketing. The marketing is, well, my target market is exactly like me. That's often a big mistake. Often they're very, very different. There may be some similarities on the surface, but you have to customize it for it. So the visual, auditory, kinesthetic is an important part of your message. The scripting, all the various scripting techniques that we talk about have to be applied. You must apply those throughout your message. So we've talked about that. So some other things to focus on. So in a bit of a review, we have your personal demeanor, which is your authentic presence, being congruent. Communication style comes down to passion. but focused passion, professional passion. We've seen beginning salespeople sell very well because they're just so passionate about the product or service. But it must be a polished passion. It must be a refined passion. And then message. What is your message to market match? Not only are you using the visual, auditory, kinesthetic language styles in your presentation, you're using the scripting part of it. It has to be matched effectively. So if you want to learn how to build on these sales call themes in your presentation to win more customers, give me a call for a consultation. It's a complimentary consultation. The number here is 949-391-3876. That's 949-391-3876, or go to my website, www.syntaxofsuccess.com. Robert?
And we've been talking to our own Wizard of Words, Mr. John Kurth, with the Syntax of Success. We're talking about actually theming, and it's a great idea, something I've done many times in the past. You want to stay tuned as John explains more about this very important marketing opportunity for you. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses: website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own doctor, our wizard of words. I got this all flumbled up. John Kurth, and John's talking about actually theming your projects for success. So, John, you've got the microphone.
All right, thanks, Robert. So we talked about the 3 core themes that need to be in part of every sales presentation. It's your personal demeanor. That's theme number 1. Number 2, the second theme is communication style. And the third theme is your message. Now, you might be asking yourself, what happens if I don't have all 3 themes in my presentation? The important thing with these is once you have them, doesn't matter which presentation you're doing, your presentation will be much more powerful and persuasive. All these 3 themes build on each other. So that's why I started with personal demeanor first. That's the first theme. Communication style is second. And then message is third. So how can you improve that? So with your personal demeanor, again, we have to be authentically you. So you want to take a muscle test or kind of take a gut check on when you're delivering this part of your presentation. How does it feel? Does it feel authentic to you? Can you deliver it authentically? Because now there's a difference between delivering it authentically and a stretch. You can trust your intuition, but sometimes your intuition may be telling you, really, it's outside of your comfort zone. It's not your intuition saying don't do it. So with your personal demeanor, can you sell it authentically? Let me give you an example. I personally prefer in the closing section of a presentation to offer what's called the alternative choice close. Do you want option 1 or option 2? If I had to stake my life on any closing process, I would have to do that one. But some people may feel they can't do that. Oh, no, John, that sounds too pushy. I don't want to say that. Well, you have to be able to be authentically you. Remember, let's talk about personal demeanor. So for them, I might give them the closing phrase, how do you feel about moving forward today? How do you feel about moving forward today? It's still a closing question. So the person says, well, yeah, I can say that. Now we're going to use that because that is congruent with their personal demeanor. That congruency is going to filter throughout the entire presentation. The person you're speaking to is just going to feel it. Because if you try to sell the way someone else does, maybe the other person in your office, she's a real type A personality and is a top producer, but that's not your style. If you try to sell like they do, it's going to come across as incongruent. There's a wonderful quote. It might have been for Emerson or Thoreau, but here it is. I'm paraphrasing it. What you are, shout so loud that I can't hear what you say. What you are, shout so loud that I can't hear what you say. Here's how this applies to this particular circumstances. If your personal demeanor, if you're trying to sell totally incongruently, they will feel it, they will pick it up, and they won't even hear how you're delivering the content, communication style, nor will they hear the words that you're saying, the message. So we need to start first with the personal demeanor. You might ask yourself, what if my communication style? How is that? How do I become passionate? How do they feel that passion? Well, the great thing about that is it's very easy to evaluate your communication style. Audio tape yourself. Use a digital audio recorder and then play it back. You're going to hear where you can improve. You can hear areas that are lacking passion, lacking clarity. Or if you're really optimistic and you really want to get to the top of your game, videotape yourself selling. Do a role play with someone else in the office and videotape yourself. You're going to see where your passion is and where your passion is not in that. Communication style, that's also going to reveal your gestures. How are you using them? Are you talking so much with your hands that it becomes a distraction? So when you videotape and audio tape yourself, You're going to get very clear on ways to improve your communication style. Are you speaking in a monotone? Or are you modulating your voice? That is one of the most powerful tools with your communication style, is the tone of your voice. How rapid are you talking? Are you talking too fast? Often at the closing section, salespeople talk too fast because they're nervous, and that's reflecting in the potential customer is going to be nervous on the other end. That's why when you're delivering your close, which is the natural conclusion to a well-delivered sales presentation, it is natural. You need to slow it down. So when you're audio taping or videotaping yourself, make sure you're slowing it down. That's your communication style. Also, at that section, you're not going to add any new information. Sometimes people add new information during the closing sequence. Oh, I forgot to remember this. Well, too bad. You forgot it. Because remember, passion comes through at your communication style with professional delivery, an even flow to the presentation. Also, your voice, volume, rate, and pitch. So that's how you can improve your communication style. Also, are you sitting up? If you're talking over the phone, when you're selling over the phone, if you're in a cubicle, stand up. Your diaphragm, your whole physiology, and you're going to be more commanding and more persuasive just by standing up. And then, how to improve your message. What if your message is not as effective? Well, the great thing, that's just feedback. You can make sure your message, it's called the message to market match. Are you using the right words or phrases that are going to resonate with your audience? What is your word catalog? What is your word choice? Is that the language you're using that's consistent with your potential customer? A client of mine sells handbags. They're very high-end handbags to both women and men. Well, you bet she sells differently to the women than she sells to the men. They're very fine handbags. They're great. But the important thing is she has tailored her message to her particular audience. In this case, a male audience instead of a female audience. But it's very easy for her. She will just pivot from one to the other. So when you have these three themes, this is what to do if you want to improve your personal demeanor, your communication style, and your message themes. So if you'd like to learn more ways about how to do this, you can call me for a complimentary consultation. My number here is 949-391-3876, 949-391-3876. Or you can go to my website, syntaxofsuccess.com, and learn more. Robert?
And we've been talking to our own Wizard of Words, Mr. John Kurth, and I'll tell you, the tips that he's giving you are absolutely invaluable. These are things that many salespeople and executives take years to learn and to master, and here they are right now from you, or for you, from John Kurth. Now, don't go away, because John's going to be back with more tips on how you can be successful and enjoy the trip. Don't go away. We'll be right back. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group, no mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own Wizard of Words, Mr. John Kurth. And John, you've got the microphone.
Thanks, Robert. We're talking about selling themes, sales call themes. We talked about personal demeanor, communication style, and message. Those are the core themes throughout each presentation. And then you have a different level of customization, different theme, which is the meta theme. The meta theme is the grand theme for that presentation. Now, how do you use that? That comes from targeting your market, targeting your message. For example, if you were selling to perhaps architects or builders, you would use the architect or building a building theme throughout the presentation. You would still focus on your personal demeanor theme, your communication style theme, and your message theme. But you'll have an overarching theme that ties everything together. And when it ties it all together, it's very powerful, and it's also very subtle. Because if you know you're targeting architects, then you weave those key words and phrases, that whole theme throughout your presentation, so that you have a much deeper level of trust and rapport. And those other themes, your personal demeanor theme, your communication style, and your message theme, are even more coherent with that. So if you were focusing on Mary Kay, selling to Mary Kay reps, well, maybe for your workshop, it might be important to have a pink folder. Again, just look at the themes that you can use, the overarching themes, to use in presentation. So going from themes, let's go into some specific additional scripting techniques. One of the important scripting techniques that you can use throughout your presentation are what are called trial closes. A trial close, what is it? It is a way to test how ready the potential customer is to buy. Why do you want to do it? Well, that testing with that information gives you, the sales professional, very valuable feedback on how ready are they to buy. The nice thing about it is if they are ready, you can accelerate, cut to the chase, as they say, and move very quickly into the close for them to sign up. If they are not ready to buy, and say, whoa, I haven't made up my mind yet, that still gives you good information. So that's like taking the temperature of your potential customer, how ready they are to buy. So the nice thing about trial closes is you just sprinkle them in where appropriate, and it gives you that necessary feedback as the sales professional to know just how close they are to buying. So, for example, I'm just using an example from automotive sales. Do you like the red one or the white one? talking about the color of the car. You like the red color or the white color? If the person says, I really like the red one, well, now that's a trial close. They're a lot more serious and more interested in buying the car. If they say, whoa, I haven't made up my mind yet, well, that also gives you feedback. So don't be afraid to use trial closes. It gives you that additional feedback that you need, and that feedback allows you to make those adjustments in your presentation to get the outcome, which is what you want, which is a win for them, a win for you. They buy, you make the sale. So trial closes are very effective. Now, what if you don't like to use trial closes? Well, I encourage you to start using them. It's a very, very powerful tool. And how do you do it? What if on the trial closes, you need to sprinkle them in at an appropriate time? Not the first question out of your mouth after you develop trust and rapport. Do you like the red car or the blue car? That's way too early. So you need to look at where you can sprinkle them in. I usually recommend 2 or 3. The first one you sprinkle in is definitely after the trust and rapport, after you're asking them some questions and getting them connected and discovering their need. That's a good place to put your first one. The second one would be deeper into your benefits, where you're sharing the benefits of your product or service. Because if you're deeper in halfway through and they're very, very serious, now's the time to accelerate to the closing sequence where you ask them for the order. If they are still halfway there, okay. You deliver the rest of your presentation, the rest of the benefits, and then you can go into the typical close. But that information is very powerful for you because now you can make those adjustments. So don't be afraid to use trial closes. 2 is good. That's usually enough. 3 can work, 2 or 3. If you're using them too much, then it's too much. Just like adding spices to your soup. If you have a pinch of salt in your soup, it's going to taste good. You pour the whole thing in there, the whole shaker in there, it's going to be too salty. Same thing with the scripts. So you want to look at using trial closes. Another important thing, and this goes back to the themes, is this technique, which is really unshakable credibility. Unshakable credibility comes from a preponderance of proof that shows your product or service is the real deal. Now, this unshakable credibility comes from using the different forms of social proof while delivering a professional sales presentation. Unshakable credibility also comes in for your belief in your product and service. The belief that your product or service is life-changing. It really can be that life-changing for your particular product or service. It's definitely life-changing for your clients. So that unshakable credibility affects your personal demeanor, it affects your communication style, and it affects your message. Now, within the message itself, that's where you use testimonials and stories. So these are additional powerful ways and powerful techniques that you can use to win more sales. So if you'd like to learn more about how you can be even more confident and even more powerful, just give me a call here, 949-391-3876. That's 949-391, 949-391-3876. 949-391-3876. Robert?
And we've been listening to our own Wizard of Words, Mr. John Kurth, who forgot his own phone number here for just a second, but he recovered really, really well. John, I know you're thinking about that birthday party you're going to have, so we're going to forgive you for not getting your own phone number right, and I won't rub it into, well, not too bad anyway. So you have a great time next week, my friend, and happy birthday to you a little early.
Thanks, Robert.
All right, you have a great time. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:08 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 103 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire, and that's down from 107 today, on its way to 69 degrees. I can't wait till it gets there. I'm not going outside till it gets down at least to that spot. But anyway, you know what? You talk about cool environments and a cool guy. Well, he's waiting in the wings. Our own John Hanson. Let's get him in.
When they ask who's a fool in the corner crying, I say, a little old wine drinker me.
And now, from the middle of a vineyard somewhere, a man who's never met a grape he couldn't cuddle up to, our resident advanced sommelier, John Hanson. Hey, John, welcome aboard. Good to have you back. I don't know why it is. It just seems like months go by since I talked to you, but it's only been 7 days. I don't understand what the heck's going on. But in any event, it's good to have you here today. I know that you've got your granddaughter over, so I'm surprised that you didn't give me a call and say, "Hey, Bob, I got an emergency. I can't call in today."
Well, she, of course, she can be very demanding, and she wanted her things set up. So, actually, I thought I'd give you a little heart attack because usually I call in a little before 5, and I called in just a little after 5. So, I noticed I got the text on the phone. What's going on? But I'm here. She had to have her music on and her little floaty blown up and all this other stuff. So,
how old is Avery now, John?
She'll be 4 on the 20th of this month. So she's her birthday's coming up in a couple of weeks, and she'll actually be 4. I mean, it seems like yesterday I had her. So I remember, going over visiting her in the hospital. It seems like yesterday, and somehow she's already 4, and she has her own personality and everything. And as I said, she loves going in the pool, and it was so hot. I mean, it's not 103, but it's probably still in the 90s here, and
so is she comfortable in the pool? I mean, does she swim, John? Does she swim?
Well, we put her. She has a little vest on. She always wears.
Yeah.
Or if she's just like because when it's a little cool, the water may be a little cold. We just warm up the jacuzzi for her, and she splashes around there. But we have a strict rule, and of course, Raina with the school district, she won't let her even near the water well, at least floaties. But we got her little vest thing on now, so she can go anywhere she wants without the floaties.
So is your son there as well, or is it just you and Raina taking care of Avery?
Oh, no. Zach's here as well. We're going to do a little dinner afterwards, and this is our little night with my son and my little granddaughter. So we always look forward to Mondays after the show. They usually don't get here until like 6 or something like that, but it was so hot that my son called me up and said, "Hey, is it okay we go swimming today?" I go, "Yeah, I may join you later." So because it is so hot. It's funny because I thought the water was going to be a little too cool. But, just from today, the water is up to about 70, and I got the jacuzzi up to about 96, 98. So it's refreshing, but you can always jump in the jacuzzi and warm up and then just stay outside for a little bit, and then you get hot, and then you jump back in the pool. So
yeah, I'll bet that feels pretty good. I'll bet that's really, really refreshing.
Well, I tell you, summer just came all of a sudden. It was like cold, all of a sudden it's back to summer already overnight, it seems like. So. Well,
John, it's interesting because I go for a walk every day, and I got up this morning and I got a message from my grandson, Joey, and Joey's 12 years old, and he says, "Hey, Papa, you want some company while you walk?" I said, "Well, sure, Joe." Yeah, and I walk about 3 miles a day, 5 days a week, anyway. So I said, "Yeah, Joe." And so I went and I picked him up, and we left at 8 o'clock this morning. At 8 o'clock this morning, it was already 76 degrees.
Wow.
But it felt like 85 degrees outside. Man, I tell you, unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it was bombing. And, I know I shouldn't say this over the radio, but this weekend, Bob, I played hooky from work. I took the weekend because I had a couple dinner engagements that were amazing. And one, of course, was I went to Club 33 for the first time since they were they were closed for over half a year, and they totally remodeled it. And actually the top cardiologist out in Vegas, I got him in as a member. We've been trying, and he promised that his older daughter, on her 16th birthday, they would do a big party at Club 33 for her. And it was getting close because she's turning 16 towards the end of this year, so he finally got in. And, of course, the first guest he wanted to invite was myself, and, of course, our connection, which is Bob Venice, who's been on the show several times. He makes his own wine, big wine food guy. And I tell you, Bob, what an experience at Club 33. It has totally
Well, you know
changed.
what, John? Because this is going to take more than a minute, and I want to hear all about the new. I've been there a number of times, thanks to you and another mutual friend of ours, and I want to hear all about the changes and what you thought about it. So why don't we take our commercial break a little bit early, and then we'll come back and you can talk about the Club 33. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Okay, we're talking to that little old wine drinker, John Hanson. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Don't go away if you want to hear all about that exclusive club, Club 33, at Disneyland. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group, no mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to that little old wine drinker, John Hanson. John, you've got the microphone. When we left, you were getting ready to tell us all about the brand new remodeled Club 33 there in Disneyland. It's right by the Pirates of the Caribbean. So why don't you start off at the, for a lot of people that have never been there, they've heard about it. Why don't you start off describing, getting into that French Quarter and getting to that door and how you get up into there?
Well, it's funny about it because the actual door is still there, but that is no longer the entrance. You have to actually walk past and take a little left right after the door, and then there's a new door that actually has this little thing they open. It's rather quaint, actually. But, when we were talking about Club 33, actually Walt Disney, that was one of his little things. He wanted that private club, and he passed away a year before Club 33 actually opened. It was in the late 60s, and the restaurant was never remodeled until last year. And they were closed for a little over 6 months. And a lot of the old-timers, there was a lot of mixed emotions because the history, everything about Disney was there, and they changed it, and they were very upset over it. So they kind of got a little heat, but you got to keep in mind Walt's vision, and you see it all the time, is they constantly change. They keep up. Because if they stayed the same, people would get bored, and they wouldn't go. And as I said, you can go especially on any weekend, and it is wall-to-wall people just walking down downtown Disney. Everybody wants to go to Disney. And that was part of Walt's dream. And now everybody's converting over because, I tell you, there's a little bias because when we went, the new GM, of course, was one of our managers at Napa Rose and a very good friend of mine. And the chef, of course, was taught by Chef Sutton, and he knows me personally. So we actually didn't order. The chef just started bringing food out, and we had the royal treatment, and it was amazing. But I tell you, the food has changed before. And as I said, I've been there with you, with Roland and guests, and you basically had a little salad bar that you went up. You made your salad, and then you order an item. And the best thing on the menu was that chicken and mac and cheese. Now, chicken and mac and cheese is your best item. Why are people paying $30,000 a year just to be a member? I mean, it needed an overhaul. And they said it opened back in the later 60s, and it hasn't been remodeled since. And they were adding new members. So what has happened, the members started complaining because they couldn't utilize it. I mean, it was sold out every weekend, and the members were complaining, saying, hey, all these other members' guests, it's not even members, it's guest of members that are in there, and I can't even get a reservation. I'm paying $30,000 a year. And plus, they're paying for the food, too. It's just to get in is that $3,000. But they do get carte blanche. I mean, even at the park, because we just celebrated our 60th diamond anniversary, and we did the 24-hour thing that is so popular. And the park was actually at its max capacity by 11:15 in the morning. And the line just grew and grew and grew. And it was the first time I ever saw a line going past the restaurant, which has to be, I say, of a mile long, was the line to get in. And they wouldn't let anybody in unless somebody left. And if you're a Club 33 member, you can just go right up the front and say, hey, I'm a Club 33 member. You just walk in. It doesn't matter. You have carte blanche at the park. And I say, the membership is $30,000 a year, so you got to get some benefits out of that. But, I mean, blackout day does not matter. You have total access to anything as a member. You're carte blanche. And for any entertainment, for anything. You even Cardoza Circle, which is now the restaurant in the Grand California Park, the Adventure Park. They have a private lounge called 1900. And if you're a Club 33 member, you have access to that. Now, you don't have to be a member. You can be a member of that 1900 and get into that little private lounge. But as I said, as a Club 33 member, you have access to everything. Events, anything you have access to. So it does have its rewards. But I tell you, Bob, what a dinner we had. And
before you talk about the dinner, John, did they change the ambiance? Because it was just kind of a sterile looking place that it used to be anyway. It was nothing really fancy to look at.
It's much larger now, and it was funny because where we sat, the area we sat, there was only 3 tables. And it was funny because I go, James, this is Friday night. Why there's only 3 tables in this area of the restaurant? And he says, John, you never know. It all depends when the members are in town, because a lot of the members are from Arizona, from other places. As I said, Dr. Brandon is from Vegas, so it all depends when they're in town. It could be a line to get in, or it can be very quiet. It doesn't matter. Any day. It could be a Friday, Saturday. It could be a Monday. It doesn't matter. It could be packed on a Monday and totally dead on a Saturday. I mean, it's just strange because it all depends when the members are going out, because you have to be a member to get in there. So you never know. It all depends who's in town and what's going on, is how busy Club 33 is. But it is much larger, because I mentioned that the members were complaining that they couldn't get in. So they did enlarge it. But I tell you, it is beautiful. And they got a little slack because a lot of nostalgia was gone, but a lot of nostalgia is still there. And I tell you, the area I was very impressed with was actually the lounge. And kind of has, the bar itself kind of has that haunted house appeal, because you have that big ball in the center of the bar. Like when you leave the haunted house, it's like a big crystal ball, and the lady's saying, thanks, come back, you hear, and all that stuff. It's kind of like the same ball in the center of the lounge. But there's 2 trumpets at the side of the lounge. And you start hearing the trumpets playing, and ghosts appear, and they start playing the trumpets. So you still have that nostalgia and that Disney flair there. But I tell you, the lounge was packed. The lounge was packed. And it's funny because we see so many Club 33 members. And before the renovation, they all used to just go to Napa Rose, have dinner, and then go to the lounge, watch Fantasmic, enjoy the park afterwards, because the food was horrible. And now it's totally different. As I said, when we went there, we had that salad bar where we got our salad, and then we ordered an item. Now you have a choice of either 4 or 6 courses. So you come in, it's like, do you want a 4-course dinner or a 6-course dinner? And you pick what you want, and then you have about 4 choices each course, what you can do. And as I said, we just said, James goes, you want the chef just to bring stuff out? And I said, absolutely. We don't worry about ordering. Here's our wine. And, Bob, the wine we brought that night, okay, we started off with an 04 Montrachet.
Oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable. It was drinking beautiful. For just, I mean, actually, it could probably even get better in the next couple of years, but 11-year-old Chardonnay from Burgundy was unbelievable. Chris, Montrachet is the Chardonnay of the world. I mean, if I had to pick one Chardonnay, it would definitely be Montrachet if I had to drink a Chardonnay. But
yeah, that's Marlene's favorite.
Oh, well, I mean, good thing you do like the Polini or the Sachon or something like that. Not
yeah.
Because you're looking from $100 a bottle to about $500 a bottle difference.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, don't get her hooked on Le Montrachet, Bob, because that will get poor farm very quickly. I know Marlene loves her Chardonnay. So, but we did Bob Bennis's rosé, and before we go on break, cute little story about his little rosé. We know Bob makes wine out in Vegas, in a garage in Vegas, and it is amazing. But he had a little extra wine. He wanted to make a rosé. Now, usually you see skin contact on a rosé anywhere from 6 to 16 hours, maybe 20 hours tops. Well, this was on a skin contact for a little more than 20-some hours, probably closer to 26, 28 hours. And it was as dark as even darker than a Beaujolais and darker than half the Pinots. You know, so it's around the Pinot color, and it's like, how is this a rosé? But it was unbelievable. But we'll talk more after the break. Let's pay some bills, and we'll talk a little more about Club 33.
Sounds good. We're talking to our own little old wine drinker, John Hanson. We're talking about Club 33 at Disneyland. We'll be right back and find out about the meal choices. We heard about the magnificent wine. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Don't go away. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own John Hanson, that little old wine drinker. We've been talking about the new and remodeled and improved Club 33 at Disneyland, that exclusive club that if you want to join, it's only $30,000 a year, but that only gets you in. You still got to pay for all your booze and your food and your entertaining. So, John, you got the microphone, pal.
Well, Bob, not just to piggyback that segment. It's also probably an 8-9 year wait to get actually in there. So, it's one of these things that it's a phenomenon that everybody wants to be there. I don't know why, because sometimes Disney just gets crazy. As I said, we were talking about those 24-hour days where the park is open from 6 in the morning to 6 the next morning. And the first time they actually did it, Bob, there were people that was waiting from like 8 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning and paying full admission just for an hour to be in the park just to say they did it. Why you would do something like that, I do not know. Hey, I'd give $100 to stand in line for 10 hours and then just stand in the park, because I can imagine what the wait is for rides. 2 hours, 3 hours to get on a ride. So, they probably can just go on one ride, and it has to be a ride that doesn't have a line. So, paying $100 just to say you were at the 24-hour thing, God bless you. You are. I don't know, but just to recap, Club 33. It's funny, as I said, there was a lot of stigma about, especially the old members that's been there for 30, 40 some years. He took away a lot of the nostalgia. But as I said, that is part of Waltstream. Disney changes with time, and that's why it is what it is. And if they didn't, it would be like Knott's Berry Farm over there, where you can walk right in. And that's why everybody still goes to Disney. And I tell you, I guarantee you, all the members are really starting to change their ways, because the food was fantastic. As I said, we had a lot of wine, and there were so many courses. But gosh, I had sweetbreads. From chicken and mac and cheese to sweetbreads, Colorado lamb from Pikes Peak, Colorado. Just unbelievable dishes. And I don't know if I should say this on the radio, but a lot of the club members are asking for foie gras. And as I mentioned several times in the show, Chef Sutton kind of got his hand slapped, because we used to have foie gras in the restaurant just for VIP guests, and we couldn't call it foie gras. We just had to say contraband. And do we have any contraband tonight, Chef? And he would say, yes, I do. Who is it for? And it had to be just for certain people. Well, somebody found out about that that was high up in the Disney chain, and he kind of got his hand slapped. He goes, we can't do that. We're totally against foie gras. And now all those members now are pushing foie gras. So James told me that we will have foie gras on our menu pretty soon. And if it happens there, of course, it's going to happen at Napa Rose as well. So I hope so. We'll see.
Well, I thought that when they legalized it, I thought that that Disney started carrying it again. I guess I was mistaken.
No, Disney, they really are set in their ways. They have just really started to change, because it's been, you couldn't have any facial hair, and now you can. You can have a beard and a mustache, but it has to be properly groomed. They are really changing their ways, because they knew they were losing talented people just because they wouldn't work for Disney, because, I love my beard and I'm keeping my beard or my mustache or whatever. And before, there were strict codes at Disney, and they're starting to bend with the times. And as I said, one of Walt's dreams was his vision. We change with the times, and we offer what the people want, and it is now reforming that way. So, Disney, no, we're staying behind that foie gras is inhuman. This is inhumane. We're not going to serve it. But now when you got people paying $30,000 for a member and coming in and saying, we want foie gras, well, that may change. So hopefully it will, and we will get foie gras on the menu because, that's back when it was, the the goose liver. Now it's duck liver. They're not nailing their feet down and force feeding them. They just turn the light on and off now. So it's not inhumane. The duck just realized this morning I got to eat and just keeps eating. So they're not force feeding them. They're not nailing their feet down. They're not doing anything that's inhumane. They just flip a light switch and turn it off. Oh, it's nighttime. I go to bed. Oh, it's morning. I eat. So it's just the habit of a duck, and his liver swells, and you get foie gras. So, it's nothing that is inhumane. And I think Disney is evolving, and that was part of Walt's vision. So I'm hoping it will. But I tell you back to the wine we had at that dinner. Okay. We started with that 04 Montrachet, Le Montrachet, the Chardonnay in the world. We did Bob's Rosé, which, honestly, he calls it a rosé, so we'll call it a rosé, but it was darker than any Beaujolais, most Grenaches, and probably 50% of all the Pinots out there. So it's kind of hard to call it a rosé, but it was unbelievable. And what's funny, he makes this wine in a garage in Vegas, and they are magnificent, although he's pulling from incredible vineyards, but they are amazing. We had that monogram, the Domaine Serene monogram, and I tell you, Bob, it's the top 3 barrels that Domaine Serene makes. So there's only 3 barrels made, and it's only exclusive for the top club, the 3 layers of the wine club at Domaine Serene. It all goes to the top club, and I get 2 bottles a year because I in with that. But we ended the evening with a little vertical with the 2011 Schrader, which is getting all the high scores. I would say that in the top 3 Cabernets in scoring. And then we had that 96 Diamond Creek Volcanic Hill, which stole the show. So what an unbelievable evening. And I tell you, all those members out there, keep going back and keep trying that dinners because what a dining experience. And I guarantee you in a few years there's going to be no stigma about, all the relics and stuff. They're going to be very happy because the food has changed. And if you're lucky enough for a member to invite you to Club 33, my gosh, go. It is a memorable experience. You get to see Fantasmic out there on the top. You get to see the fireworks show at the end of the evening. It is just one in a lifetime experience at Club 33 now.
Well, John, it sounds like it was a magnificent evening, and I don't blame you for playing hooky from your job. I would have too. Anyway, my friend, this has been a wonderful format. I look forward to talking to you soon. You have yourself a wonderful weekend. This is Monday. Enjoy Avery and Zach. I know they're at the house. Get your swimming trunks on. Jump into that pool. Cool off, my friend, and we'll talk to you soon.
We'll talk to you then, Bob. Take care, Bob.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:42 p.m. Pacific time. Currently, hey, it's finally going down. It's only 101 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, we know what today is. Yep, it's somebody's birthday. And you know what? This person was born in 1957, American cartoonist and the creator of the Dilbert comic strip. Happy birthday, Scott Adams. And today's also the birthday of this young lady who was born in 1976, a former world #1 American professional tennis player, Lindsay Davenport. And here's a guy we all know, or we've all heard of anyway, born in 1977 today. And he was an American rapper, record producer, author, singer. Happy birthday, Kanye West. Yep, controversial son of a gun. How about today in history? You know, in 1949, celebrities Helen Keller, Dorothy Parker, Danny Kaye, Frederick March, John Garfield, Paul Muni, and Edward G. Robinson are named in an FBI report as Communist Party members. By the way, that was not true. How about today in history? 1953, the United States Supreme Court rules that Washington, D.C. restaurants could not refuse to serve black patrons. And in 1968, James Earl Ray is arrested for the murder of Martin Luther King, Jr. And finally, our quote for today comes from St. Ronald Reagan. Yep. Ronnie says, you can tell a lot about a fellow's character by his way of eating jelly beans. You know, I met Ronald Reagan when he was governor of California, my wife and I and some family members. And the first thing he does when you walk into his office is he offers you some of his prized jelly beans. Those are those Jelly Belly jelly beans. And, you know, he put that company on the map. Guaranteed. Well, our secret daily teaching for your life. You know, this is all about a positive mental attitude. That's what we're talking about here, and this is not a very long one. You know, but if you have a positive mental attitude, you are going to control your life, your destiny, and the lives of the people around you. You're going to make them better. Today's teaching is like Aladdin's genie. The law of attraction grants every command. Every command. So just think about that. The law of attraction. You command it, and it happens. Well, Let's talk about that Harvard business tip of the day. And the management tip today is use we, not I, to motivate your team. You know, if you're trying to rise in your organization and become a leader, it's important to show that you're focused on others, not yourself. Pronouns can help. They're small but potent. They're signals that communicate a speaker's focus of attention. When people feel insecure, they're more likely to focus their thoughts and behaviors inward and use more first-person singular nouns, for example, I, my, me, when they're speaking. By contrast, first-person plural and second-person pronouns such as we, us, or you are used when considering the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors of others. So try using we more often when speaking to your team. It'll show that you are more focused on what you can achieve together than on what you need from them. It can also help shift your perspective and make you more aware of what others actually need. As you work to meet those expectations, you'll become a better leader. That is just a fact, folks. Well, it's time for those interesting but useless facts. Let's get a few of them in here. Did you know that most digital alarm clocks ring in the key of B flat? I don't know why. Have no idea why. But it's a fact. How about this? Did you know that a donkey will sink in quicksand, but a mule will not? Can you imagine the people that have to figure these things out? Can you imagine the poor donkey and mule that they tested? Did you know that an average human drinks about 16,000 gallons of water in a lifetime? That's enough to fill a pool, if you think about it. If you chew a cabbage lettuce leaf properly, you'll lose more energy than you'll gain from actually eating it. There's just nothing in them. How about this? In 2005, the country of Angola had the highest infant mortality rate in the world, with over 187 deaths per 1,000 births. Wow. Well, here's one for you. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, the Finnish word Saipakivakup Pias, a soapstone seller, is the longest known palindrome in any language. I have no idea what I just told you, but I do know this. 4,000 people are injured by teapots every year. So give that some thought. Here's another one for you. More than half the population of Kenya is under the age of 15. Wow. What's that say about the mortality rate, right? And the longevity rate. Did you know that the bloodhound is the only animal whose evidence is admissible in an American court? I didn't know that. Isn't that interesting? How about this? Did you know that Arabic numerals are not really Arabic? They were invented in India. Give that one a shot. How about, did you know that slugs have 4 noses? Try and get rid of them. And then finally, did you know the Big Dipper is known as the casserole in France? I'm going to leave it with that. When we come back, we're going to talk about the emails that you've asked me to answer. First one comes from Victor Jake Garcia from Bartlett, Tennessee, asking about over-withholding solutions. And I'm going to talk to you all about that right after these brief messages, so don't go away. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, Gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses: website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:52 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 101 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire. That's down from 107 on its way to 69 degrees. Boy, I want to tell you, it is hot outside. I'm not going out there. That doesn't make any sense at all, right? Well, you know what? We're coming down to the wire. It's time for our emails. I want to remind you that this is an entertainment portion of the show. I try to answer your questions as thoroughly as I can, but, you know, some of the information I get sometimes is kind of sketchy. And so just remember that I'm answering your question thoroughly, but you always need to seek the advice of a licensed professional before you go out and do anything. They're going to call you in. They're going to interview you. They're going to gather all the pertinent data for your situation so they can give you a succinct, thorough, honest, legal answer. Then you can take that one to the bank because part of their licensing requirement is that they have errors and omissions insurance. If they make a mistake, you can sleep well at night, not worry about somebody tapping you on the shoulder or ringing your doorbell or sending you a registered letter, because they are going to be liable for the result. Well, my first email comes from Victor Jake Garcia from Bartlett, Tennessee. He's asking about over-withholding solutions, and he writes, I filled out a new Form W-4 with my employer, but it leaves me paying too much in taxes. Can I claim more withholding allowances than the form says that I'm entitled to take? Well, Victor, the answer to your question is yes. The IRS itself says you don't have to use the Form W-4 worksheets if you use a more accurate method of figuring the number of withholding allowances. Now, you can use the number of withholding allowances determined under an alternative method rather than the number determined using that Form W-4 worksheets. Go to IRS Publication 505, that's Tax Withholding and Estimated Tax. You can claim any number of allowances that will properly balance your withholding with the actual amount of tax that you're going to owe. Now, you might find this helpful. Use the IRS withholding calculator found in the individual section of the IRS website at www.irs.gov. Victor, I hope that helps. Next email comes from Jay Su Hong from Sterling Heights, Michigan, asking about automatic tax payments, and writes, can I have my bank's automatic bill paying system pay my quarterly estimated taxes? Well, Jay Su, there's a better way to do this. Use the electronic federal tax payment system, that's the EFTPS, to make payments from your bank account to the IRS electronically. Now, here's some details for you. Visit the IRS website at www.irs.gov and click on the e-file logo. Now, this is much better than using the bank's bill payment system, assuming the bank system will even make these payments. Why? The IRS is more likely to lose or misallocate a payment that arrives in unfamiliar form. And if you don't designate exactly what a payment is for, as via the EFTPS system, or by writing the details on your check, and a bank system is unlikely to do that for you, the IRS is free to apply it to any liability of yours that arises, causing confusion if you have more than one tax debt. So use that EFTPS instead. You'll be glad you did that. Next email comes from Garrett Jarvis from Arvada, Colorado, asking about tax treaties. And he says, how can I find out about a tax treaty that the United States has with a foreign nation? Well, Garrett, IRS Publication 901, that's U.S. Tax Treaties, provides an overview of tax treaties, how they operate, and who they affect. The full text of tax treaties that the U.S. government has entered into with more than 60 foreign nations are available on the IRS website at www.irs.gov. Enter United States income tax treaties in the search box. But you know what? You really do need to be careful here. These are technical legal documents, and you should interpret them only with the help of a professional who is an expert in international taxation. Just kind of keep that in mind. And then finally, my last email comes from Nicole Johnson from Pacific Palisades, California, asking about home office danger, and writes, will a home office deduction attract an IRS audit? Well, Nicole, the home office deduction is much less of an audit red flag today than it was a generation ago. It's far more common, and Congress and the IRS have regularized rules that once led to tax disputes. Today, it doesn't particularly create more audit risk than any other common business deduction unless it's an unusual in size or some other way, which is true of all deductions for that matter. If you file an honest return and are legitimately entitled to any deduction, you should take it and not fear the IRS auditor. There's no point in paying more than you absolutely owe to the IRS. But you want to be safe. So check out the rules in IRS Publication 587, that's business use of your home, and take photos of your office to document how to use it in the case the IRS even asks you about it. You'll be glad that you did that, I promise you. Now, just remember, if you have questions or you have particular situations, always, even on these questions, contact a licensed professional. Get them to help you. They'll interview you. They're going to save your frustration. They're going to make it possible for you to sleep at night and not worry about any ramifications from the IRS because they're insured, and that's one of the conditions of their licensing. By the way, that's for both state and federal. I want to thank you for listening to Robert Cardoza Live at the intersection of business and politics. Robert Cardoza Live broadcasts on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide every single Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. I also broadcast on Roar 1776 Radio and on 365 Live Radio every Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. That would be 7 to 9 p.m. On Eastern Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com and email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. My next show, my expert contributor is Suzette Mailer with her IFAB Travel Corner, and my special guest is Sean LaFave with his Geared for Wellness Corner. I encourage you to tell all of your friends about my show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network. That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza. Don't forget to join me again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Time for another installment of Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. In the meantime, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. You know what? Good night, everybody.